everyone, this is Dory back with another episode of Dory's Helpful Hints. Today, as promised, I want to discuss the Dressing Your Truth system and why I believe that it does not work. For me, it seems that the system is too restrictive in colors. I had gotten into a discussion on one of my other videos with a subscriber talking about whether or not the type 1 in Carol's system is actually warm. And in their writings and on their group pages, they say that undertone, hair color, eye color, whether or not you're warm or cool means absolutely nothing. In fact, I believe that Carol did a video that is available on their lifestyle membership that talks about that and how seasonal color analysis and Dressing Your Truth are not at all related. But when I went back and watched the free course again, in their free course material for type 1, they still say that you're looking for things with a yellow undertone. For summers, type 2s, you're looking for things with a cool undertone. They also do the same with the jewelry. If you're a type 1 or a type 3, type 1s want the light, shiny gold, and type 3s want the deep, more bronzy, dark gold. Summers want kind of a muted silver, and then their type 4s want the bright, shiny silver for the reflective quality of their type 4s. Interestingly enough, when I was involved in the type 1 Facebook group, there was a woman on the page who had been with the system for about 9 years. And she said initially when she joined, type 1s could wear both gold and silver, which would kind of make sense because if you were, say, a bright spring in seasonal color analysis, you can carry both gold and silver. They're both shiny and they're both animated. And there are those who say that gold and silver are neutral metals. I think people with a warm skin tone look better in gold, and I think people with a cooler skin tone ultimately look better in silver. But, you can kind of wear both if you're more neutral. And if skin tone really doesn't matter, then you should be able to wear both. When I first joined the system 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago now, you could wear gray as a type 1. The only thing you had to look for was the white. The white had to be coming through it. So a light gray or light heathered gray that showed white was fine. And when asked why they took the ability to wear gray away from type 1s, their reasoning was that people didn't understand what they meant by light gray or light heathered gray, so they did away with it completely because it was confusing, when really all they had to do was show examples of what types of gray could be worn. In seasonal color analysis, every season gets a gray. It might be a warm gray or a darker gray or lighter grays, but everybody gets a gray. Ultimately, I think the palettes for the types are too restrictive. They base your colors on what they say, movement. It's not a personality system, but it kind of is. But it's based on your movement. So your colors are restricted based on what you determine to be your movement. Carol determined that my movement was type 1. And I had gone back and forth. I tried every type except type 3. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the system, type 1 is light and animated. Type 2 is soft and subtle. Type 3 is active and reactive. And type 4 would be constant and still. And in the 4 seasons, they would pretty much equate to spring, summer, autumn, and winter. I initially typed myself as a type 1, moved over to type 4, came to type 2, back to type 1. I never wanted to be a type 3. But I can't wear the bright spring colors. They're too light for me. So I floundered. And I think if they recognized that there are people who maybe need some more diversity, and they will say now that a tint could have a drop of white in it. As long as there's a drop of white in it, then it's fine for a type 1. So they are trying to open things up more. I think maybe they recognize that their palettes are too restrictive. The other thing that I think is an issue is that you're supposed to dress in your colors all the time. If you're sleeping, your pajamas should be in your colors. If you're working out, your workout clothes should be in your colors. I think even bright animated people need a subdued color that they can kind of veg in. I don't know about everybody else, but I have those days when I'm just not feeling like doing much of anything. And I'll cozy up in something really soft and a color that I can relax in, whether it's gray or a chocolate brown or whatever color I'm feeling at the time. And I'll sit back and relax. I don't think bold type 4s want to always be bold. And they don't get to wear any gray. And in the seasonal palettes, winters, gray is one of their best colors, but they're not allowed to wear it as a type 4. I think people struggle a lot with these palettes because they tried to restrict them so much. I prefer systems, I don't know if you feel the same, but I prefer the systems that actually match your personal coloring and not so much personality. Or if it does go by, movement and energy and personality, then they put you into a season based on that, but then your colors are still individual. In David Zylo's program, in Suzanne Cagill's program, you can have warmth to you and still be a summer and still be an autumn and still be a winter. You don't have to be, it really doesn't go by warm or cool. And your metals match your hair color. So if you're a summer, your metals aren't necessarily silver. If you're a winter, your metal is not necessarily silver. You can wear metals that match your skin color, which opens up the bronzes and things to, a lot of different seasons within. And I think that works more. And I think that's why people struggle. They try and stay within the parameters that they've been given and struggle, because a lot of those colors aren't going to look good. Or they sit there and they know that they're cool. They feel that their personality is type 1. They feel bubbly and buoyant and bouncy. But when they put on those yellowed colors, they look sallow or they look ill. And so they feel like, okay, well, my personality can't be what I think it is, because otherwise I would look good in these colors. And that may not be the case at all. They may actually be, their essence may be type 1, but their colors may not be. The genetics that are factored into personality and the genetics that are factored into color are two completely different sets of genes. So one does not necessarily equate to the other, in my personal opinion. And also a lot of personality traits are learned, even in Briggs-Myers. A lot of that is learned as a child over time. What you're honored for and what you are not honored for creates the personality that you take into adulthood. Whether or not that would have been your personality if you were raised a different way really doesn't matter. We are all the sum total of our experiences in life. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes. We all grow. We all evolve. We all expand. Our opinions, our beliefs aren't static over time. Animals change. People change. The world changes. Nature changes. Change is inherent in the lives that we live. So to say that where we start out when we're 2 or 3 years old is where we should always be also does not make sense. Who we are at our core, whether or not or how we process information, we may always process information the same way, but we may not always draw the same conclusions. I'm sorry, my dog's asleep and he's dreaming. Hang on. Benny! I woke him up. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. I hope I gave you some valuable information. And as always, take care, guys, and have a great week.